The important thing you need to understand on this one, you guys, and I'm not going to answer the question, but I will draw you the picture. If this is graphed, which x value would produce a point closest to the x-axis? Well, we need to know something about the graph of this. It's an exponential, which means it's either increasing or decreasing. Because it's 1/4 that's raised to a power, the bigger the x value gets, the smaller our outcome is going to be. So it's going to do something that looks kind of like that. And this thing is never going to touch the x-axis, but it's going to get infinitely close. Okay? So the question of which of these is going to get us closest to the x-axis, well, the further this direction we go, the closer to the x-axis we'll go. I'll just kind of leave it at that. Okay? If we're solving, it'd be great if we could factor. If not, we got to do the quadratic formula. Okay? In this case here, the thing that we can factor first is we can take out a 2. X squared plus 3x minus 4 equals 0. That factors. When you factor that, you could ignore the 2 and set both of these equal to 0. Over here, it doesn't factor, which is why you have this no double space thing. It's very likely you're going to end up with a plus or minus square root of blah, blah, blah quadratic formula type answer. Okay? Negative b, which is negative 4, plus or minus the square root of 4 squared, which is b squared, minus 4 times a times c, which is negative 2. Keep in mind that negative and that negative are going to produce a plus something here. All over 2a. And that's 2 times 3. So this will all most likely simplify. That's a 16, 4 squared. That's a 12 times 2, which is 24, so you're adding 24. You know, I haven't done one of these in a while in its simplified form. So let me keep going with this. Negative 4 plus or minus, that's the square root of 40 over 6. Now you leave it that way, and you got yourself a right answer. But it can be simplified. There's a perfect square that evenly goes into 40. That's the number 4. Let me do this up here. The square root of 40 is the square root of 4 times 10, right? That portion can come out to be called what? 2. It's 2 times the square root of 10 then. So this simplifies to be just that. Negative 4 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 10 all over 6. Now before we reduce this incorrectly after doing all this work, what's the one thing that is common with this, that, and the other term? They all have 2's. The 2 is the only thing that can be reduced, and you cannot reduce the 10. 10 is protected by the radical. You take a 2 out of here, what do you get? Negative 2. You take a 2 out of here, what do you get? 1 times the square root of 10, right? Because that doesn't reduce, but that just went away, and it's all over the 2 that came out of here, so it's all over 3. Right? Thanks for playing.